Kaixo, arratsaldeon, gaur kafe bat hartuko dugu Zabaltegi-Tabakalera saieko Unrest filmaren taldearekin. Buenas tardes a todas. Hoy vamos a tomarnos un café con el equipo de la película Unrest, de la sección Zabaltegi-Tabakalera. Eta horretarako gurekin dauzkagu hemen Silvan Hillamann, Argazki zuzendaria, Clara Gostynskit, Aktorea, eta Cyril Schäublin, zuzendaria. Good afternoon to the three of you. We are going to start from the beginning, and I would like you to talk to us about the title of the film, about the meaning and the meaning in the film a little bit.
So the title refers to you can call it the heart of the watch, the unrest wheel or balance wheel in English, or volante regulador in Spanish. And so in my family, my grandmother and my grand-aunts and also my great-grandmother, they were working in a watch factory producing this piece, or like regulating it. And that was, I think, the interesting part for me in the beginning, to kind of try to reconstruct their lives through this work, through this mechanism and their work in the factory, and not really try to reconstruct their biographies maybe, but really go into the work thing. Yes.
And I mean, you were saying about your family, that there's a link with your family to the film, but I would like you to talk to us a little bit about the research you made apart from your family history to like do the script or write the script and make the film.
So I came to find out about the anarchist movement in Switzerland in the 19th century, which was strongly linked to the watchmaking industry. So the first unions and syndicalismo was happening within these working groups of the watchmaking factories. And so I found out about, I think, very interesting, detailed information, like that for unmarried women who were employed in the factories, they were not allowed to get health insurance. And the first health insurance for unmarried women working in factories were provided by anarchist associations. So these early anarchist movements, they were very practical organizations, organizing labor and its surroundings, and of course then it was also interesting to find out that in this watchmaking town Saint-Imier, it was where the split happened between the first international of Marx and Engels, led by Marx and Engels. And so they created the first anti-authoritarian international, which became the beginning of the anarchist movement. And a lot of people from Spain, from Italy, from France, from all over Europe would travel to this watchmaking town to have congresses and discuss this new division of the socialist movement. So many things came together.
And formally, when we watch the film, the composition of the frames is quite unique. And yesterday we were talking about the how far you were from the characters. How did you think about the composition? And maybe you can talk to us a little bit about this.
Yeah, the wish was, I would say, that it's possible to orientate yourself if you're watching yourself in the situation, so that there is not a clear spot that you're looking from, and that we don't have a central happening or action, but that the action is also decentralized. That was one wish that we had by composing it, and also to make the construction visible and the decision that it's a construction of this past that we invent in this moment, and yeah, find a way to not that it's not. We didn't want to try to make something as it would have been, not to make the, how you say, the Behauptung, the, yeah. But like show it that it's always a decision what you tell and what you choose and what's the framing, and also about the narration of history itself, like what points do you take up and what informations you bring, and so make this decision visible, that it's an invention of construction of us. Yeah.
And Clara, yesterday we were talking at the Q&A about your background a little bit and how you are not a professional actress, but you did like an exceptional job here. So I would like you to talk to us a little bit about your background. How did you get to the project, and how was to work in this film?
Okay, so yes, I think Cyril and I are friends, and I think Cyril likes to work with friends, and not especially with actors, professional actors. And so he asked me, and what was really nice about it is that Cyril was not this like genius director who would like give orders, but he would take all the other people from the team into his like mindset by like sending them books or texts, or so somehow we all got into the subject, and by getting to know the subject we were involved in the film, and this was I really liked that. And for the watch, yeah, as I told yesterday, it was really interesting to get this knowledge from a real watchmaker, from a young woman from the Jura, and she was explaining me all this, how the Unrest was actually functioning. And so my preparation was especially this engagement with this particular object.
And about the languages, because in the film there's like a lot of swapping from one language to the other. I think, well, we talked about it yesterday, but this is important for a reason, and I would like you to explain a little bit to us, like why it's important and what did you want to reflect with this language swap all the time.
So in the first place, the valley where this movement took place, the Valley of Saint-Imier, is a bilingual valley. It used to be bilingual, it still is, and it's beyond a question of class or social background. Really, almost everybody speaks equally well French and Swiss German, the Bernese dialect. So for one reason, it's just because it is like that, and the other reason is, I think that the film talks about the beginning of the creation and the construction of the nation, which was very strong, the beginning of national states in the 19th century. And I think to show, especially in Switzerland, where there are different languages juxtaposed to each other, it seems even more absurd, I think, this trying to create the national identity, or maybe, let's say, the attempt was more, for me, more puzzling than to say we create a German identity or a French identity or an Italian identity. But it's funny that we are here now because I think, of course, you also have many languages in France. You have many languages in Germany, which were forbidden or marginalized, like le Breton in France was not really allowed to speak until 1960s, 1970s. Of course, there's this history of the Basque people. Yeah, but in Switzerland it was next to each other, officially different languages, and in that sense even more absurd, this trying to create one national identity. And
there's like an idea throughout the film about the time is money. And I think that there's like a lot of violence in the way that we relate to work in some way. But the whole film is like really calm. And I would like you to explain a little bit if this is a decision you made from the beginning, and how did you, how was the writing process, and how this, came out?
I think in my own life, my experience, especially in Switzerland, maybe it's a Swiss thing, I'm not sure, is that this kind of, I feel a certain violence, but it's not a physical violence, you know, that is really what I've seen in my life, but I see all these people executing this sort of capitalist mythology, capitalist plan that we constantly embody and do. We exchange money, we do this work, we call the bank. It's very it's an action to do. And I'm just wondering often why we do it so willingly, and it's pretty crazy. It's strong, you know. It's very strong concept, and I think this what really for me is also in some way, bizarre way, maybe beautiful, that we are these human people with beating hearts and hands and eyes, and we are these physical bodies, and we are executing the same plan together. And there is a certain distance between these two, which I find tragic and funny and beautiful at the same time. And that's, I think, what we are trying to bring into the films a little bit.
Well, thank you to the three of you. Gracias. Eta orain, filmaren irudi batzuekin utziko zaituztegu. Ahora os vamos a dejar con unas imágenes de la película.
Eskerrik asko.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Puis en fait, c'était la première fois que les femmes gagnaient le même salaire comme les hommes. Mais ça ne durait pas très longtemps. 3 mois. Après, ils se sont tous tués.
Alors, vous allez jouer dans notre pièce de théâtre?
Non, moi je suis pas protagoniste.
N'empêche. Alors, la tombola de solidarité, ça vous intéresse?
Et c'est combien?
5 centimes.
Ah, on prend? Oui. J'en prends 2, s'il vous plaît.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup, madame.
Aujourd'hui.
À
samedi.
Voilà.
Bonne soirée.
Bonjour, mesdames, messieurs.
Bonjour.
Désolé de vous déranger,
mais de tombola de solidarité.
Oui, on est très près d'être pris de vue pour la communauté, puis vous êtes en plein dans le cadre, dans l'image. Alors je vous prierai de bien partir un petit peu ailleurs.
Merci
Merci beaucoup, bonne soirée.
Bonne soirée, au revoir.